Tonight, starting about 8 o'clock, we are going to start reading the story Devil's Moon. Since it's Friday the 13th, I seemed it fitting that we would do that. The places that the story is pre recorded, we'll just play that and listen. But I was going to try to do this earlier, but I've been having some blowback from the flu I've been having this last week. I'll try not to cough too much during it. We will see what happens. Let's go to the storyline. All right, let's go to number 1. This is chapter 1. This is clipping from the New Orleans True Crescent. Arthur's Unknown newsprint 4x3 inches. It says lunar fever takes over New Orleans. The talk of the town has been the moon this week, as fans of Simon Moore's flock to the stands for their copy of the Luna Diabla periodical. Readers young and old have been enraptured by the tall tales of the young champion Kevin, as he fights the dastardly Cherry and the horrors he's brought to our very own New Orleans that changed the bayou forever. The True Crescent had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Moore about what's next on the thrilling serial, and while he can't tell us much, he promised us that there will be a terrible plan to stop Cherry once and for all. We're burning with excitement. All right, that's chapter 1. Chapter 2. All right, it seems that chapter 2 is actually a letter that's written by Kevin Linus, who is the main protagonist in this story, who we actually have in our very last DLC that we got when we finished the challenge. Letter written by Kevin Linus. Damaged but intact with envelope. No return or recipient address. 8 by 11 inches. Mama, Papa, I don't know if you're reading over my shoulder while you're watching over me, but I'm scared. Everything hurts, but I have too many people to protect now. I cannot stop. It's not all bad. I've met so many interesting folks. They fight for me, they fight with me, and they try their best to convince others to fight at my side too. But it's getting harder. I think every person we get to help us only means that he has gotten 2 more. And more blood keeps spilling, and more bodies keep piling, and I can't help but know it's my fault. I wish I could give up. I wish that I could let the others take care of the rest, but I can't. When I even think about stopping, feels like something is crawling in my head. It whispers, only stops when I keep moving forward. It'll end soon, all of this. We figured it out. Figured out how to kill him, I think. I'm not sure. But once it's done, maybe I can rest and I can come back home. Maybe I can bring my new friends with me too. Would be nice to sit by the pond and listen to all their stories. But right now, I should focus on this fight, so I can have a chance of taking them there. So Mama, Papa, please keep watching over me a little while longer. This seems to be a letter that he wrote to his family probably as he was leaving to go on his quest. Wax recording transcript. Some parts unintelligible due to molding. Alright, this happens to be one that is done for us, so let's play it.
Now, I do not know if I'll be able to replicate the experiment. You see, the pieces will stay the same, but the amounts are all a bit hazy. But this is it. This is everything I've been working towards. So many sacrifices, so many fighting, all for this moment. The sculptor will be nothing to fear. Louisiana will be remembered for ending these incursions once and for all. And if I were to give rough estimates, 2 parts hive womb, around 1,000 milliliters of venom. The essence extracted from several bounties of Mr. Orsica are a must. From there, I suppose you mix in enough. And the inoculation takes care of the rest. How fascinating. Her vocal cord still needs some healing. What a pretty thing she was. Such a shame. But at least now she'll have brought enough to make up for the loss of beauty. Oh, shh. My dear, relax and recuperate. Now when you're ready, you and I will have much work to do, so save your energy. Now, Mr. Chenkov, listen very carefully. A young man...
Well, it's kind of weird.
So, he was talking to the new character that we got that has the wire on her face, that he's turning her into some kind of fighter, I guess. Alright, let's go to 4. Please forgive me for my coughing.
Some issues right now. I can't seem to break free of.
Ooh, it's not going to stop me. I'll do this. Come on, get this done. Clipping from the Louisiana Ladies periodical, 1903, Arthur Unknown. Newsprint, 4 by 8 inches. Cautionary tales for the child folk. Beware Okinawa's widow. Okay, what's that? We at the Louisiana Lady know how hard it can be to get a little rascal to stay in their bed at night. Stop them from wandering too far. Give them something that will make them take pause the next time they want to stray. With a tall tale sure to give them goose flesh. This month we gives you a story sure to keep your kids close to home with, or Kinko's widow. Deep in the night, have you heard the wailing, the sobs, and the oddly pitched screams that hurts your ears and sets them to ring? Then you've just heard the fearsome widow for yourself. She say that if you catch her gaze, you'll start weeping enough to fill an empty sea. Others say she's stronger than 10 men and can rip 20 men in half with their bare hands. The latter must be true, considering her self-same responsibility for becoming a widow. All the newspapers in New Orleans were full of news of Mary when her husband was found massacred, his chest raggedly open and his heart stolen. By the time the body was discovered, Mary and Chinko had long since disappeared. But months later, something unfathomable transpired. Close to Mary's home, there were several accounts of people hearing cries in the night. None dared find the source of the cries. None but one, who had the unfortunate close encounter and who said, "You get close to Mary, her neck creaks like metal, and she lets out a wail that could make a strong man pass out. And when she comes at you with knife in hand." After that, there were many more encounters with the widow, but few lived to tell the tale. But those few all had one thing to say: don't go wandering around at night, and don't go talking to any stranger, 'cause old Chalkoff's widow might catch you and bring your heart to the brazier. It means it took your heart. Letter to Kevin Linus. Author handwriting matches that of Siri Elias and writing on a scrap of paper. Severe fire damage reconstructed by archivist. Kevin. The roots of evil deepen. Excuse me. And after what I've learned, the Dr. John, I fear we might need to prepare ourselves for the least expected, if we are to survive. Resort to means long denied. We have yet to understand the nature of this monster, that man, for the evil in him exceeds anything I know. There is still hope. Dr. John was unhesitant to tell me until he consulted the bones, and even then I doubt he was certain. Though Sherry claims his inventions are good, his actions prove otherwise. His total self-absorption and ambitions cloud his own mind, yet make him a strong-willed adversary. But even the toughest rock can be broken, and the mortal shell of his soul resides in is not resident to everything. All living things, natural or not, need something to function. For us, or rather for our primal bodies, blood is the essence of life and death. Depending on the treatment, to manipulate one's soul, we first need to crack open the shell and reach the essence. For this, we need treated Orlander leaves, burned in high quantity at the devil's hour, a poisonous inferno, a hellfire, as Dr. John called it. If we burn enough herbs, the fumes can weaken him from within, though this alone can't be enough to kill him. But at the very least, the smell of the Orlander will tell those who've taken his infernal pact that we will be triumphant, and they are not the only ones who can ravage with fire. But this is where it becomes unspeakable. The treatment of Orlander requires its leaves to be boiled in the blood of the pure and just, as evil can only be defeated by righteousness. Dr. John is reluctant to let me leave, but Cora promised to carry this letter to you. Until then, be careful. See.